The last stand at New Geneva, the awakening Captain Elena Vasquez clawed her way through twisted metal and concrete debris, her lungs burning with each breath of dust-filled air. 3 months had passed since the Zephyrians descended from the stars, turning Earth's greatest cities into graveyards. New Geneva, once a beacon of scientific progress, now lay in ruins around her. The research facility where she had been stationed as security chief was nothing more than a crater filled with the remnants of humanity's greatest minds. Elena's tactical suit was torn and blood-stained, but the biomonitors still functioned. Her enhanced physiology, a gift from the experimental programs she had volunteered for years ago, kept her alive when others had perished. The genetic modifications designed to make human soldiers faster and stronger had become humanity's unexpected edge in this war of extinction. She pulled herself from the rubble and surveyed the wasteland that stretched in every direction. The sky burned orange with perpetual fires, and in the distance, the massive Zephyrian harvester ships floated like dark clouds, systematically stripping Earth of its resources and people. The aliens hadn't come to conquer in the traditional sense. They had come to consume everything that made Earth valuable, including its human population. The Discovery moving through the destroyed facility, Elena's enhanced hearing picked up a faint electronic hum. Following the sound, she discovered Dr. Sarah Chen trapped beneath a collapsed wall in what remained of Laboratory 7. Elena's augmented strength allowed her to lift the debris that would have crushed a normal human. Dr. Chen was barely conscious, her leg badly injured, but her eyes blazed with fierce determination. "The files," she whispered urgently, clutching a damaged tablet to her chest. "I saved the enhancement protocols, all of them." Elena helped the scientist to her feet, serving as her support. The tablet contained years of research into human genetic modification, neural enhancement, and biological adaptation. It was technology that could transform ordinary survivors into something the Zephyrians had never encountered before. "They think they understand human limitations," Dr. Chen continued, coughing up blood. "But these protocols can push us beyond anything they've seen. Enhanced reflexes, accelerated healing, increased strength, electromagnetic resistance. We can become their worst nightmare." The two women made their way through the ruins, avoiding the patrolling Zephyrian biohunters. These creatures were once human, captured and modified by alien technology to serve as trackers and enforcers. Their glowing blue eyes and metallic skin made them easy to spot, but their enhanced senses made them deadly predators. First contact with the enemy as Elena and Dr. Chen reached the edge of the facility. 3 biohunters emerged from behind a collapsed building. Their movements were unnaturally fluid, and they communicated through electronic clicks and whistles. Elena had faced them before and knew their capabilities. They were stronger than normal humans, but lacked the creative thinking that made humanity dangerous. Elena set Dr. Chen down behind cover and drew her modified plasma rifle, one of the few weapons that could penetrate Zephyrian bio. The first hunter rushed toward her with inhuman speed, but Elena's enhanced reflexes allowed her to sidestep and deliver a precise shot to its power core. The creature exploded in a shower of sparks and synthetic blood. The second hunter tried to flank her, but Elena had anticipated the move. She rolled behind a concrete barrier and fired 2 shots, both finding their mark. The third hunter hesitated, and in that moment of uncertainty, Elena saw something crucial: fear. These converted humans still retained some instinct for self-preservation. "You still remember being human," Elena called out to the remaining hunter. "Fight it. Remember who you were." For just a second, the creature's glowing eyes flickered. Then it screamed, a sound of pure agony, and tore at its own modified flesh before collapsing. Alina realized that the Zephyrian control wasn't absolute. There was hope, building the resistance over the following weeks. Alina and Dr. Chen established a hidden base in the abandoned subway tunnels beneath New Geneva. Other survivors began to find them, drawn by radio signals Alina broadcast on emergency frequencies. They came in groups of 2 or 3, sometimes alone, all carrying the same look of desperate determination. Marcus Thompson, a former Navy SEAL, arrived with a group of children he had been protecting. Lisa Park, a systems engineer, brought technical expertise and a burning hatred for the aliens who had killed her family. David Rodriguez, a paramedic, carried medical supplies and the knowledge to keep people alive in impossible conditions. Each new arrival brought skills, resources, and most importantly, the will to fight back. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to adapt the enhancement protocols for their limited resources. They couldn't replicate the full laboratory conditions, but they could create temporary modifications that gave humans significant advantages against their alien enemies. The first test subject was Alina herself. The process was agonizing, but it doubled her already considerable abilities. Her healing rate increased dramatically, her strength multiplied, and most importantly, her nervous system became resistant to Zephyrian neural weapons. The Phoenix Squatter's words spread through the underground networks. More survivors joined their cause. Alina organized them into specialized teams, each with specific roles in their guerrilla war against the occupation. The core group became known as Phoenix Squad, symbolizing humanity's ability to rise from the ashes of destruction. Marcus led the assault teams, using his military experience to train civilians in urban warfare tactics. Lisa developed new technologies, by reverse engineering captured Zephyrian equipment. David established medical protocols that kept their enhanced fighters alive through battles that would have killed normal humans. Their first major operation targeted a Zephyrian data collection center in the ruins of downtown New Geneva. The aliens were systematically cataloging human knowledge, preparing to strip Earth not just of its people and resources, but of its entire intellectual heritage. Alina led the assault personally. Her enhanced team moved through the alien facility like ghosts, their modified biology allowing them to operate in the toxic atmosphere the Zephyrians had created. They planted explosives throughout the complex and escaped just as the building collapsed in a spectacular fireball. The message was clear. Humanity was not finished. They would fight back. The harvest begins as Phoenix Squad's operations intensified. The Zephyrians responded with increased brutality. The aliens began mass harvesting operations, using their biohunters to round up human populations for processing. The lucky ones were killed quickly. The unlucky ones were taken to the harvester ships for conversion into biohunters, or worse. Alina received reports from resistance cells across the globe. The same pattern was repeating everywhere. The aliens weren't just occupying Earth, they were systematically erasing human civilization. But they had made one crucial mistake. They had underestimated humanity's capacity for adaptation and revenge. Standing in the main chamber of their underground base, surrounded by modified humans who had once been ordinary civilians, Alina addressed her growing army. The enhancement protocols had worked beyond Dr. Chen's wildest expectations. They had created something new, something the Zephyrians couldn't predict or counter. They came here thinking we were weak, Alina said, her voice carrying through the tunnels. They thought they could harvest us like crops, but we're not crops. we're predators, and it's time to show them what happens when you corner a predator." Assembled fighters cheered, their modified voices creating an otherworldly sound that echoed through the tunnels. Above them, the Zephyrian occupation continued, but below ground, humanity was transforming itself into something capable of striking back. The first Victory Phoenix Squad's next target was a Zephyrian communications relay that coordinated harvester operations across the European continent. The facility was heavily defended, surrounded by biohunters and protected by energy shields that could vaporize conventional weapons. Elena's team approached through the old sewer systems, their enhanced biology allowing them to survive in the toxic environment the aliens had created. They emerged inside the facility's perimeter, moving with speed and coordination that no normal human team could match. The battle was brief but decisive. Enhanced humans tore through biohunter defenses like they were made of paper. Lisa's improvised EMP devices disrupted the alien technology, while Marcus's team planted charges at critical points throughout the structure. As the facility exploded behind them, Elena felt something she hadn't experienced since the invasion began: hope. They had proven that the Zephyrians could be hurt, that their technology could be defeated, and that humanity still had the power to fight back. Standing in the ruins of the alien facility, watching the flames reach toward the poisoned sky, Elena made a promise to herself and to every human who had died in the massacre. This was only the beginning. Earth would remember what had been done to it, and Earth would have its revenge. The war was far from over, but for the first time since the invasion began, Elena believed they could win. The Zephyrians had awakened something in humanity that they couldn't understand or control. They had created their own worst enemy, Asterisk. The underground war, the network expands 6 months after the formation of Phoenix Squad. Captain Elena Vasquez stood in the command center of Haven, humanity's first underground city, built in the abandoned subway tunnels beneath what was once London. Haven housed over 10,000 survivors from across Europe. The city stretched for miles through interconnected tunnels, powered by geothermal energy and protected by electromagnetic shields that Dr. Chen had developed from captured Zephyrian technology. Elena's appearance had changed dramatically since those first days in New Geneva. The enhancement protocols had continued evolving, and her body now bore the marks of humanity's desperate adaptation. Her eyes glowed with a faint silver light, a side effect of the neural modifications that allowed her to interface directly with both human and alien technology. Scars from dozens of battles crisscrossed her skin, but each wound had healed stronger than before. The war above ground had intensified beyond anything the Zephyrians had anticipated. What began as isolated resistance cells had evolved into a coordinated global network. Phoenix Squad had become the template for similar groups. Across every continent, in the ruins of Tokyo, the steel wolves harassed alien supply lines. Beneath the Sahara Desert, the sand vipers had established a massive weapons manufacturing facility. Even in the frozen wastes of Antarctica, human survivors had found ways to strike back at their invaders. Marcus Thompson approached Elena. Position, his own modifications, making him appear more machine than man. Half his face had been replaced with cybernetic implants after a biohunter attack. But the technology allowed him to see through Zephyrian camouflage systems. New intel from the Sydney cell, he reported, handing Elena a data tablet. They've confirmed our theory about the electromagnetic weakness. The breakthrough discovery Dr. Sarah Chen had made the discovery that changed everything 3 months earlier. While analyzing captured Zephyrian biohunters in her laboratory deep within Haven, she noticed that the creatures' nervous systems showed severe disruption when exposed to Earth's natural electromagnetic field fluctuations. The aliens had adapted to their home world's electromagnetic environment, but Earth's field was fundamentally different. The biohunters aren't just vulnerable to our EMP weapons, Dr. Chen explained to Alina and the command staff. Their entire neural network relies on electromagnetic frequencies that are incompatible with Earth's natural field. That's why they need those adaptation suits and why their technology requires constant recalibration. Lisa Park, now chief of technological development for the Resistance, had weaponized this discovery with devastating effectiveness. The new generation of human weapons didn't just disrupt alien technology. They turned Earth's own electromagnetic field into a weapon. Every device Lisa's teams built drew power from the planet itself, making them nearly impossible for the Zephyrians to counter. The implications were staggering. The aliens hadn't just invaded a world. They had invaded a world that was actively hostile to their biology and technology. Earth itself was fighting back, and humanity had learned to channel that fight. The London Spire, the Zephyrian command structure, operated from massive spires that rose from the ruins of Earth's major cities. The London Spire was the largest in Europe, a twisted tower of alien metal and organic tissue that stretched 3 kilometers into the poisoned sky. It served as the coordination center for harvesting operations across the continent and housed the regional commander, a being the humans had learned to call war Commander. Alina studied the tactical displays showing the spire's defenses. Thousands of biohunters patrolled its base, while energy weapons capable of destroying entire city blocks protected its upper levels. Flying assault craft circled it constantly, and the structure itself was surrounded by a force field that could vaporize anything that approached. "It's suicide," Marcus said bluntly. "Even with our enhancements, even with the new weapons, we'd need an army to take that thing down." Alina smiled, an expression that had become terrifying over the months of war. "Then we'll give them an army." The plan she unveiled was audacious beyond anything Phoenix Squad had attempted. They would coordinate simultaneous uprisings in every major city across Europe, drawing the Zephyrian forces away from London. Meanwhile, a strike team would infiltrate the spire through the underground tunnel system and plant charges at critical structural points. The electromagnetic pulse generated by the explosions would propagate through Earth's natural field, disrupting alien technology across the entire continent. The Great Uprising, the attack, began at precisely midnight, Greenwich Mean Time. Across 12 cities, enhanced human fighters emerged from hidden bases to assault Zephyrian installations. The aliens had grown accustomed to small-scale resistance attacks, but this was different. This was coordinated warfare on a scale they hadn't seen since the initial invasion. In Paris, the Flame Brigade set fire to 3 harvester ships using improvised thermite weapons. In Berlin, the Iron Wolves collapsed an entire alien administrative complex. From Madrid to Stockholm, human fighters struck with precision and fury that surprised even their alien commanders. Alina led the infiltration team through maintenance tunnels that ran beneath the Thames. Her enhanced senses allowed her navigation in complete darkness, while her modified nervous system let her interface with the ancient human technology that still functioned in the depths of London's infrastructure. The team consisted of 12 fighters, each representing the pinnacle of human enhancement technology. David Rodriguez had volunteered, despite his medical responsibilities, his healing abilities making him invaluable for a mission where injuries were inevitable. Lisa Park brought her latest electromagnetic weapons, devices so advanced that they seemed like magic even to their creators. Inside the spire, breaching the spire's lower levels required every trick humanity had learned during months of underground warfare. The structure's defenses were designed to repel external attacks, not infiltration from below. Elena's team moved through service corridors and maintenance shafts, avoiding the main areas where biohunters patrolled. The interior of the spire was a nightmare fusion of alien technology and converted human infrastructure. Organic walls pulsed with veins of light, while screens displayed incomprehensible data streams. The air itself was toxic to unmodified humans, but Elena's team had been prepared for that. Their enhanced biology could process almost any atmospheric composition. As they climbed higher, the team encountered increasing resistance. Biohunters prowled the corridors in greater numbers, and alien security systems required Lisa's expertise to bypass. Each level brought them closer to their target, the spire's central power core, which maintained not just the building's defenses but the coordination systems for the entire European occupation force. The power core was a massive structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. It hummed with energy that made Elena's enhanced nervous system tingle, and touching it would probably kill even her modified physiology. But they didn't need to touch it. They just needed to introduce a specific electromagnetic frequency that would cause a cascading failure. The final confrontation, as Elena's team prepared to plant their charges, War Commander Kelthara appeared. The alien commander was massive, standing nearly 3 meters tall, with multiple arms and eyes that glowed with internal fire. Unlike the biohunters, Kelthara retained full intelligence and personality, making it far more dangerous than any converted human. So, the enhanced vermin have finally crawled up from their holes. Kelthara spoke through a translation device, its voice like grinding metal. "You fascinate me, human. Your species was catalogued as primitive, yet you have adapted in ways our scientists deemed impossible." Elena stepped forward, her plasma rifle trained on the alien commander. Behind her, Lisa worked frantically to complete the electromagnetic device that would bring down the spire. "We're full of surprises." "Indeed," Kelthara replied, "which is why you will be preserved for study. Your genetic modifications represent evolutionary leaps that should have taken millennia. We will learn how you accomplished this, and we will replicate it." The battle that followed was unlike anything Elena had experienced. Kelthara moved with speed and precision that rivaled her own enhancements, while its multiple limbs allowed it to attack from several angles simultaneously. Elena's team provided covering fire, but the alien commander's personal shields deflected most of their weapons. Elena realized that conventional tactics wouldn't work. Instead, she did something that surprised even herself. She interfaced directly with the spire's computer systems using her neural modifications, attempting to turn the building's own defenses against its commander. Earth strikes back the electromagnetic device activated just as Elena managed to override the spire's security protocols. The combined effect was devastating. Energy cascaded through the building's organic structure, while electromagnetic pulses propagated through Earth's natural field lines. Every piece of Zephyrian technology within 1,000 kilometers began failing simultaneously. Kelthara screamed as its personal shields collapsed and its biosuit began shutting down. The alien commander's body, adapted for a different world's electromagnetic environment, convulsed as Earth's natural field overwhelmed its nervous system. "This world rejects you," Elena said, standing over the dying alien commander. You can't harvest what fights back. The spire began collapsing around them, its organic components dying as the electromagnetic cascade spread through its structure. Elena's team fought their way to the building's base as floors crumbled and walls dissolved. They emerged into a London transformed. Across the city, Zephyrian technology was failing. Harvester ships crashed into the Thames while biohunters collapsed in the streets. The aliens' entire occupation, infrastructure, dependent on technology, incompatible with Earth's electromagnetic environment, was shutting down. The Declaration standing in the ruins of the London spire, surrounded by the wreckage of alien technology. Alina addressed the world through communication systems that Lisa had jury-rigged from both human and Zephyrian components. Her message was broadcast to every resistance cell, every survivor, every human who still drew breath on Earth. For 6 months, they hunted us, they harvested us. They thought we were weak, that we would accept extinction quietly. Today, Earth answered them. Today, we showed them what humanity becomes when cornered. We are no longer the species they invaded. We are something new, something stronger, something they cannot understand or defeat. Reports flooded in from across the globe. The electromagnetic cascade had affected Zephyrian operations worldwide. In some regions, the aliens were already retreating to their ships. In others, they were fighting desperately to maintain their failing technology. Alina knew the war was far from over. The Zephyrians still had ships in orbit, and they would undoubtedly send reinforcements once they understood what had happened. But humanity had changed. The enhancement protocols were spreading to every survivor, creating a species that could not only fight back but win. They came here to harvest a world. Alina continued her broadcast. Instead, they woke up a planet. Earth is not conquered. Earth is not defeated. Earth is angry, and Earth remembers. Let every alien species in the galaxy understand this. Humanity does not surrender. We adapt, we evolve, we survive, and now we hunt. The war had entered a new phase. The hunters had become the hunted. And Captain Alina Vasquez, standing in the wreckage of alien arrogance, smiled as she contemplated the future. The Zephyrians had wanted to harvest humanity, but they had created something far more dangerous. They had created Earth's children, enhanced and evolved, ready to take their fight to the stars themselves. The massacre was over. The real war was about to begin.